But you see a lot of people don't have those intentional conversations because the physicality is usually muddying up or
it's distracting.
It's distracting compared to what a relationship is supposed to be.
And I would say as well, that brings up for me a point that, okay, long distance should not be like a long-term thing.
Yes.
Like, again, it should be a season that you get into because, the circumstances of how you met or how your life had to be. But it's definitely something that you're like, okay, when is the end time for this?
Yeah.
Because it's a hard season. And I feel like in any hard season, you like having a timeline that's like, okay, we've got a year of this, and then I'm moving here, we're getting married, and we're gonna be together, and it gets easier to work through that, especially in the hard moments, rather than being like, oh, we're dating and how long is it gonna go? And we definitely saw some people that it didn't work out because I don't think it ever had a purpose. But that again goes back to like, even in person dating, it's like you gotta always have a purpose. Dating should lead to marriage. It shouldn't just be, oh, I'm just comfortable with this person or so.
Yeah.
But another thing that, while we are still on the topic of long distance in dating, I wanted to bring up and ask you is, do you think that it's for everyone? Because I feel like sometimes in the modern age, it's really common, but do you think it's like something to take lightly or everybody can do it?
I think long distance dating is not for everyone. For us, it was because at the time that just was our situation and our beliefs. It just didn't stem from whether the person was close enough or not. If the person is the right person, then we were going to spend intentional time with them. Now, there are some other people who cannot do long distance relationships because they just don't want to be apart from that person or try to at least build the beginning stages of that person apart. And I have a friend, it happened to him, and we have a friend that it happened to them. And it turned out great, It turned out great that he found a person who was in person rather than a person who is far away. And their relationship grew rather than if he were to have went with a person who was far apart. I think long distance dating is a new phenomena, actually, just due to the advent of the phones.
Yeah. You're able to meet people who are, or you're at a higher possibility of meeting people who are not in your surrounding. Because, I mean, even our parents had to go through like either long distance dating or marriage, but I feel like the chance of that nowadays is really high. But I agree. It's like, it's not like, oh, this person can do it, this person is not capable of doing it. Like, no, I think it's more so in a way, like, I just don't want it to sound that like, oh, we were just so good, we did it. No, I was struggling. I am the last person to like say that I'm good in any long distance situation between the two of us. But I feel like it's okay if you feel like that's not for you. Because I think, again, as you said, it's been so popularized that it may make people think that like, oh, I should be able to do this. I have this girl that I met or this guy that I met, and they are nice and godly, and we can try to make it work. But like you really deep down feel like, I just don't feel like doing this. Yeah. And I think that that's okay. Again, we saw it work in a good way. That like, you just accept that, what, you're a great person, but I'm just not made to do this. Like, it's just not comfortable for me. It's a lot of effort. Maybe perhaps, down the line, you're looking farther down the line and you just don't see how you can be in person. Either it's because of, I don't know, document issues between different countries, or it's because of family dynamics that maybe that person just wants to live near their family for the rest of their life. And, for you to move to that place also doesn't work. So I think it's okay to think through it, think through the in like the intricate details of
Yeah.
long distance dating and be like, okay, am I up for this? Or should I
Yes.
just try to avoid this?
Yeah, the right person in the wrong time in the wrong place is still the wrong person, sadly. But I do believe that there are benefits to, again, one benefits to long distance dating is communication, but another benefits to long distance dating is, let's say, for example, your church you're in a church that maybe is more of an older congregation, or maybe you just moved to a place and you're not plugged into a church, or there's not a lot of people around your age in that church. Then I think it's good to be able to seek out online, especially when there's a lot of false Christians, or there's a lot of worldly people out there, and that's not where you want to date, because it says in, Corinthians, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So for our case, at the time I was not fully plugged into a church, and we went through Heart of Dating. Please check out our love story from
For
that
details.
for details. But I went to Heart of Dating. I reached out to her through Instagram, and nowadays, if you are overseas, you're able to do that as well. Let's say if you're not plugged into an English-speaking church, or maybe you are plugged into an English-speaking church, and there happens to be no prospects for a wife or for a husband in there, then don't be afraid to use, the social media. Another benefit is being able to meet up with someone who is of a different culture than you. Maybe what if you don't like your culture that you're in, or maybe you're curious about someone else's culture. Now you have cross-cultural relationships, which I think is beautiful, because you get to see the beauties of different sides.